stunning developments out of Russia. The head of the Wagner private military group has called off an armed rebellion aimed at ousting Russia's prime minister. This after escalating his direct challenge to the Kremlin. Joining us now to help explain all of this is Massachusetts Congressman Bill Keating, who sits on the House Foreign Affairs Committee.
Congressman Keating, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Rondella.
This seemed to take a lot of people by surprise. What can you tell us about who Yevgeny Prigozhin is, and what are you hearing about how this happened?
Prigozhin is a Putin creation. Russia's best viewed, most experts will tell you, as a crime syndicate rather than a government, and he is in charge of different branches of that. Putin lavished him with governmental contracts for catering. Then he got the moniker of being Putin's chef. He accumulated wealth there, but then went on to an organization of disinformation companies, and they participated in our 2016 election attack that Russia inflicted on us during that period. But this conflict really comes from him becoming the leader of a private mercenary army that he created, an elite group that's better paid than the Russian military. And they were active in Syria. They were importantly enacted. They inflicted their aggressive tactics in Crimea in 2014 when Russia seized that portion of Ukraine. But the conflict now comes from his being in charge of this elite private military group. It was great for Putin because he could keep him at arm's length and say he had nothing to do with this. But they integrated that private mercenary group into this war with Ukraine, and it fell outside the chain of command to the Russian military. And there's been a long brewing conflict that came really to light this past weekend when Prigozhin moved himself outside that chain of command, refusing to move his people into the military, which he faced a deadline of early July in doing. He had to integrate this private group that he controlled, and he got great wealth from this, trading in gold and minerals and oil, became a billionaire. The Russians, Putin wanted to take that away from him, and you saw the response this weekend where he attacked the military, attacked Putin indirectly, and that's really what set up this drama.
A long history to this power struggle. How do you think this is going to impact the war in Ukraine and our support for it should the U.S. get more involved in hopes of helping to end the war?
In two direct ways. Number one, this private controlled Wagner group represented 1/4 of all the combatants in the front line, and they were the most effective by far. What's going to happen with them now? They're dispersed. They're getting the chance to go back to the military, but I don't think that's going to happen very easily because they consider themselves elite, they get paid more, and they still have allegiance to Prigozhin, even though he's in exile right now. Number two, this really hurts Putin at home because this was out in the open, unlike so many other conflicts that might have occurred behind the scene. Prigozhin went on a social network called Telegram. He attacked the military. He attacked indirectly Putin, and he said that the war was based on false premises, the worst thing he could ever say. Those things are going to stick with the Russian population. And once you ring that bell, it's hard to unring it. So there'll be a residue from this that will weaken Putin at home, and it'll clearly weaken their efforts on the front line.
It's been almost a year and a half now. We've seen gas prices go up, food prices go up, often attributed to the war in Ukraine. Do you think this development over the weekend could have any impact on the global economy? Briefly.
No, I think the damage is done. Actually, it's going to have continued impact on the Russian economy. All these sanctions are building, the sanctions that not only we have, but so many other countries in the world have against Russia. And this is going to just increase over time. And this does not help his ability to deal with that. I think some of the contracts he has and the commitments he has with China and other countries, this weakens his position to the rest of the world and the people that are helping him sustain his economy. So the real harm's going to be on the Russian economy.